Rebuilding a Stuart Major Beam engine, part 12, explaining what the entablature is, and cleaning the edges of this newly painted entablature, which is the part that supports the Watt's parallel motion. I have included the dictionary definition of the word. I refit the column to the bed plate and adjust it so that the Watt's parallel motion aligns with the main beam. To conclude this episode, I reassemble and refit the water pump. But first, here is the official dictionary definition of the word entablature. These are the 4 original bolts that held the column onto the bed plate, and I'm going to reuse these bolts to bolt the column to the bed plate. But before that, I need to remove some excess paint that's got onto the metal part of the, wait for it, entablature, the horseshoe-shaped bit. As I mentioned in a previous episode, I just didn't want to paint everything in Crimson Lake. That's the LMS red paint. I need to have some of the parts left in bare metal, and I'm sure you will agree that the combination of Crimson Lake paint and some unpainted cast iron looks quite good. Not forgetting, of course, the steel parts and the gunmetal parts. In my opinion, if you want to make the model look really good, do not paint everything. Otherwise you may as well just get a bucket of paint and drop the whole thing in there and hang it up to dry. As the painting extravaganza draws to its inevitable conclusion, it's actually looking quite good. I'm now putting a bolt into the bottom of the column to hold it to the main bed plate. It's quite important at this stage not to tighten these bolts. I need the side plate on the column, so that I can make sure that the beam is perfectly aligned with the piston rod. And in order to do this, I need to temporarily mount the beam. So here I'm fixing the bearings to the top of the column, and it's easy to see which way round they were originally because they only tend to fit one way round. In this clip, I'm fitting some stainless steel washers to the studs so that when I tighten the nuts that hold the bearing block to the column, the nuts will not screw up the paint. A quick mention as usual not to over tighten these small nuts and bolts because if you shear them off it's really not good fun putting the problem right. So after oiling the bearings and oiling the top of the cross shaft, I can fit the top caps and check the position of the main beam relative to the cylinder. Don't forget the column is still loose, so it will allow me some adjustment as you can see here. The camera angle is not quite good here, I must admit that, and I do apologise. It looks like the parallel motion cross shaft is miles out, but in reality it isn't. In this clip I'm fitting the small parts that hold the Watt's parallel motion solid to the entablature. And like most of the parts on this engine, they're very well machined. These are very small parts but quite fiddly to make. And once these 2 small fixing points are in the correct position, and I lift the piston rod to the top of its stroke and sit the beam up against the piston rod, as you can see, the alignment is much better than it was originally. If you wish to compare it, go back to video number 1. For me, it's good to see things are starting to line up, although don't forget the column is still loose, and to be honest, the beam is not precisely in the right position yet, but it's getting there. In the current clip, I'm placing a wooden block under one end of the bed plate, because now this thing's getting really heavy, and it allows me to get a socket underneath the bed plate to tighten the nuts that are holding the column to the actual bed plate. In order to make sure that nothing moves out of alignment whilst I tighten these nuts, I'm putting a piece of packing between the cross shaft on the piston rod and the 2 mounting studs on the entablature. As the paint on the column is not fully hardened, it is fairly essential not to clout it with your spanner. Do not bash your spanner into a painted part. This is the water pump assembly and some parts that I took out of the water pump assembly when I first dismantled it. I think the first thing to fit is the top cap. This is the part that holds the gland packing in place. This water pump is just a simple lift pump and it contains 2 stainless steel balls on seats. I removed one of these balls as I removed the main seating. This is the main seating being refitted, and as you've already noticed, I have refitted the ball first. I'm sealing it with some Loctite 542 so that no air will be let into the system. With any kind of pump, it's important that air is not let into the system on the inlet, and the water is usually at quite a high pressure on the outlet, so a simple gasket is required. I'm not going to say a great deal about this, it's very self-explanatory. Get the gasket material, put the flange on the gasket material, draw around it, mark out for the holes, drill the holes the right size, but don't forget to punch a hole in the centre of the gasket. and once you've done this, you just cut out the gasket and fit it to the part. I cut out the gasket with a pair of scissors so it looks a bit uneven, but I can get it exact. Once it's fitted to the flange, I just run round it with a very sharp scalpel. Refitting these very tiny nuts with an equally tiny spanner is a very fiddly job. Irrespective of the size of your hands, they're very tiny. If you drop them on the floor, it's goodbye. Here's a very good tip. If you're struggling to get the tiny nuts to start on the tiny threads, then use a magnetised posi-drive screwdriver to hold the nut in position, and the friction of the 4 points of the posi-drive screwdriver will also allow you to run the nut a few threads down. Then you can finish it off with the tiny spanner. Sometimes I would use a nut spinner for this, but there's no room to get it in here. This clip shows the finished appearance of the pump, with its now nicely polished copper pipe, complete with the brass part that I made to cover the fact that the hole in the bed plate is now larger to allow the pressure fitting to go through with the pipe. So that's about it for this episode, I think. It's looking good. There's still a fair way to go. Oh, hang on, I forgot the flywheel. I have to paint the flywheel. But don't switch off just yet because I've got something very interesting to show you. This is the flywheel. And normally on a flywheel of this size and smaller, you would expect a keyway slot to be machined in the flywheel and a corresponding keyway slot to be machined in the crankshaft. But no such luck on this flywheel, and I think it's like this on the drawing. It's just a pair of grub screws opposite each other at opposite sides of the flywheel to hold it to the shaft. Now the first grub screw came out very easily. The second one was really difficult to remove. The amount of pressure I'm putting on this Allen key is nearly enough to break it, and the last thing I want to happen at this stage is for the Allen key to break off in the grub screw. I've seen this many times. Anyway, thankfully that didn't happen. By carefully removing the grub screw this way and occasionally backing off the Allen key in the opposite direction, finally the grub screw came out of the flywheel, which was a relief. I then rethreaded the hole using an M6 tap to take some M6 grub screws that I have plenty of. I'm glad that's over, so flush with success, I thought, I will paint the flywheel. It had to happen sometime, but look on the bright side. You're watching it speeded up a ridiculous amount. I have to do it in real time, and I also have to do it twice, and I don't video it a second time. That's it for now. I'll just play some nice soothing music so you can watch it to the end. The music I'm about to play reflects the season. Today is the 31st of October 2015, and it is Halloween, so I'm going to play some of my Halloween music. Thanks for watching, and I hope you found it useful. Please take the time to visit my Mainsteam Models website and click on the section of the website that says Video Playlists. And by doing that, you can find other videos that you may like to watch. And by using the playlists, you can actually watch the videos back to back.